Joining us now, a man who is up early and at 'em, Tom Holmoe, the BYU athletic director, with us, high above the Orleans Floor Arena. To say that you're busy is probably the grossest understatement that may have ever been made on this program, because this month
that's
is
saying a lot.
Absolutely bonkers for you.
There's a reason they call it March Madness.
Yeah.
There's madness in my life right now, but I love it. I love every part about it. Just when I joined this committee a couple years ago, people said that it would be the best committee that you've ever served on in your life, but it would be the hardest, and I think both of those were true.
What do you expect from the BYU men's and women's teams in the West Coast Conference's version of March Madness today in the semifinals against St. Mary's?
First of all, when my wife and I were driving away from the stadium or arena the other night, I said, it's so great to have both your teams in the semis. It doesn't always happen, but it seems like we're here a lot, and I like that. But there's really two tough matchups. I think both St. Mary's teams are going to be formidable opponents. I like that St. Mary's, I followed them a lot because of the committee, probably more so than I would any other team in the Gonzaga also. But I think their guard line is very good. They have 5 great players, but their guard line, I think their guards make our guards work over time. And I think the mentality of our defense, when you get into a do-or-die situation in a game like this, you have to treat every possession like gold. And our team doesn't teach. they don't take every possession like gold.
Or like silver.
Silver or bronze.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about on the defensive end.
Oh, man.
That's what I'm talking about. I mean, our guys can play it. It's just a mentality. They got to come with that mentality tonight because they just spend so much time on that offensive set, St. Mary's, and they run our guards around like crazy. And Rayhan is he's a special guy. He's one of my favorite players in the league to watch because he is so stinking efficient.
He's unflappable.
Oh, my goodness. And our guys have to be unflappable to mirror him.
If you saw Joe Rayhan in the Richards building, you probably wouldn't make him your first pick on your team. But he's a really good guard. You know what I mean? Yeah. And Dave Rose has done a nice job. Our stat of the day is that Dave Rose, in his 12 years, Tom, has never lost 3 times to the same team in the same season.
How about that?
That's pretty crazy, right?
I wouldn't have known that.
And tonight's the 3rd meeting. In football, you never play the same team again. It's kind of weird in basketball.
Yeah, but
3 chances.
Really, I've had that situation. In the old NFL days of the Western Division, we'd play the LA Rams, the 49ers, and you'd play them home and home, and then you'd more than likely play them in the playoffs. So it was a very similar situation. And when you beat a team twice, there's a thought in your mind, gosh, can we get them 3 times? On the other side of it, you could think, we're good. We beat them twice. Let's go get them again. So both sides, both coaches are going to have this philosophical matchup where they're going to try to talk their guys into one or the other. And I expect it to be a really good game. And one side, some component of the game will crack a little bit. And, hopefully the Cougs are the ones that are solid as a rock.
All right, we're going to call an audible here for just a moment. We'll get back to basketball and your position with the NCAA Tournament Selection Committee and all that stuff in just a few minutes. But while you talk about football, let's talk about the recent scheduling news. Boise State, BYU moved to a Friday night. What is it about that game that makes it desirable for ESPN always on a Thursday or a Friday night?
Well, the nation loves that game. I think you have 2 schools that have had great traditions over the years that are not in the P5 conference, and whenever they play that on a Thursday or Friday night on a non-Saturday game, the country responds. What I mean by that are the ratings are good. So to have that game on a Saturday with all the other games doesn't make sense for ESPN, and I love it. Anytime that we can get that many eyes on the Cougs, we'll go for it. So you can almost count on that Boise BYU game being on a Friday or Thursday.
Now that the dust is sort of settled on the 2017 schedule, it's never fully settled, I guess, until you start playing. What do you think of what you put together for 2017?
I love it. I mean, my favorite game is the LSU game. I just think that I love having a big-time game early in the year. And when we set that one up, it was similar to Oklahoma in Dallas at a NFL stadium, the first game of the year, where our folks can travel to that game. And I'll never forget Oklahoma, just seeing so many people in that Dallas Cowboy Stadium. I'm hoping that we can get Cougar Nation to respond that'll be a big one. But, of course, Portland State, we snuck that one in there late, and it's going to work out good. I like the fact that we have that game with Portland State. Portland State's a good FCS team, and we needed another game, and we were able to slip that into week 0 because of our game with Hawaii. And so that's going to be a good 1-2 to set off the stadium or set off the season, and then we all know what's the third game.
Yeah, it took a while.
Yes, we do.
And you've been saying, be patient. The home schedules are coming. Okay, Utah, Wisconsin, Boise State. That's pretty darn good.
Last year was UCLA schedule. And Mississippi State.
Yeah, pretty like it's getting there. Like the home schedule looks really enticing this year.
Well, I appreciate it. It's something that we worked hard for, and I love having a chance to reward Cougar fans at home. We can get a lot of the games on the road. People can we can go and get that one game on the road, but having them in LaVell Edwards Stadium is something sweet. I love that.
What's life like right now as you're 6 days out from Selection Sunday?
It's the calm before the storm, really. I watch the games. I look at the scores. Last night I spent a couple hours on the statistics and the metrics and just trying to make sure that my thoughts are right. And I've spoken to a few of the guys on the committee and Janet Cohn, I should say, guys and gal. And we have a great camaraderie. We have great unity. And so we're like a team, and we're getting ourselves fired up and ready to go.
BYU beats number 1 ranked Gonzaga. 3 wins in a row in Spokane. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, man, we didn't expect that. We can't explain really how BYU's done that 3 years in a row. It's one of the great mysteries of college basketball. But what does that do to the Zags and their chances as a number 1 seed?
Well, Gonzaga has a great year. They've had a great year. And losing to BYU, it was a little blemish on it. But when you look at all the schools, all the teams that are in the tournament, especially up front, throw out the records, throw out all the matrices and stuff, and look at the teams. I think that's one thing that a lot of the writers across the country, certainly the people on the committee, because we saw where we were a couple weeks ago when we unveiled 16. Gonzaga's got a really good team and a really good coach. They got great players. They play together well. So when you watch them play basketball, they're exceptional. That's really what you see. Now, whatever happens in this tournament tonight and then tonight, it's Monday and Tuesday.
It's going to be a long week for you.
That'll have a lot to do. I mean, to play if they win tonight and they play BYU or St. Mary's in the finals and they win that. That'll bode well. If they don't, then it changes things. But right now you're looking at all these tournaments and to see who's winning and who can get. Some of the teams are in the tournament, but they lose early in a conference tournament like the ACC tournament or Big 12. Seed line changes. And so for Gonzaga, the one thing I know is they're just a darn good basketball team.
Yeah.
If BYU doesn't win this tournament and get an auto bid, would you welcome the idea of BYU-Utah in the NIT?
Whatever comes our way. I know it's conspiracy theory for Cougar and Ute fans.
It's a fun one, though.
It's just how it goes. We didn't play in football the one year and they were playing the bowl game. Who knows? I'm not going to think about that. I'm going to think about tonight and tomorrow. I fly tomorrow to New York, and I'm just hoping like crazy I have to miss both our championship games.
So
that'd be a good thing.
So like you don't want to miss them, but the fact that you would be missing them means BYU's there, right?
Yeah. Because I'm going to be gone, I want to miss them.
Yes.
There you go.
Julian Chavez, your secretary, said to me the other day when I was walking out of the athletics building, my boss is going to be gone for a month. And I'm thinking, whose boss has gone for a month? But what's your travel schedule like over the next month?
It's March Madness. I have assignments. We go for a week in selection week in New York City, and then we have assignments. So you go and early in the week to get the arena ready, and then you watch the teams as they come in. You're there to assist them in practices and then the games, and then clean up and go. And then you go home. I come in. I just don't go to work. I come home for a little bit. I actually will poke my head in the office probably 3 days in the next month.
3 days in the next month.
So since you're going to be gone for the Y Awards, are we cool to just say whatever?
Sure, go ahead. I trust you guys.
Last 2 years it's been that way, so yeah, all good.
Yeah, that's right. You haven't listened to me in the past, so.
What's it like in that room with the selection committee when you finish the bracket, is it what's the feeling like? Do you have closure? Are you still like, oh, this team, this?
No, you're done. You're done. There's so much time that goes into each and every team, but I think what a lot of people don't understand is that on the last year we had 11 contingency brackets.
Oh my
11.
Goodness.
Out on the tables. Everybody is looking at them, depending on what happens in those games on the last day. So, I mean, that's the craziest thing. If there's one thing I'd come away from is stop playing games on Sunday, not all year, just on that last week. I mean, people want that last hurrah, but it's crazy because if it's a team like that's in the top 1 or 2 seed lines and they lose, it's probably not going to affect them too much. But there's some games there's championship games where teams will AQ things, and that shakes things up. It doesn't shake up who's in, but now you got to go look and you got to readjust all the seeds. Not all of them, but the bunch of them. So we do that ahead of time. So if Team A wins, if Team A loses. If Team B wins, if Team B loses. There's a bunch of them. And then you just, as they go off, you look at them, adjust them, go through them again, clean them up. We call it the super scrub, and then you're done.
The super scrub with 11 contingency brackets.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Desk. Yeah.
Yeah. Tom, we commend you for your hard work, balancing football schedules while you're doing March Madness, watching your teams play at the Orleans. Best of luck.
Well, it's killing 2 birds with 1 stone because that's how we got the Michigan State game. Mark Hollis, the AED at Michigan State, is on the committee.
So you just worked it out in the
LSU.
Oh, that happened because of the committee?
Joe's on the committee, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Jamie Zaninovich.
So it's you get 2 for 1.
Yeah.
That's a different 2 for 1. Basketball. I haven't really got a lot of basketball games out of it, but you got football guys.
You got some football games.
There, so.
Hey, you got a week or a month.
Yeah, I got a week. That's right.
Tom, thanks for the time.
Thanks, guys.
Great to talk to you as always.